So I'm going to have a quick shootout right now. Runway is officially dead to me, and I'm going to cancel my subscription. I've just been very underwhelmed with the output that I've been getting from it, and some of the other tools that it offers, they're not as helpful anymore either. So I freed up $15 a month, so I'm going to have a quick shootout right now between Kling and SkyReels and see which one's going to earn my next subscription. So hang along with me here for the next 5 minutes or so while I go over the differences between the two. I want to show what I generated with the free version, and then also I want to show, which one eventually won here. So, all right, I want to start off here with SkyReels. So I took some imagery that I've been working on for my my band, and I just said my classic, well, first I'll show my classic prompt of bring to life. And honestly, SkyReels I thought was super good here. I thought both of these contenders, Kling and SkyReels today, did really, really good outputs for me. Some things I really like about this, so I just said to bring to life, it saw that there was a figure kind of disintegrating, so it kept that figure walking towards the sunrise, which is exactly what I wanted, while it continued to disintegrate, and then the sunrise kind of overwhelmed the picture. Also, if you look, it kind of grabbed the moon that was up here in the sky and moved it really fast, almost like we're looking at a time lapse of somebody that was walking maybe really slow and sped up, so that moon is moving. I didn't ask it to do that, and I actually thought that was a really cool abstract kind of thought. The things that I didn't really care too much about here is that it didn't do too much else with like the roadway and the sides of the roads, and that's what I want to keep an eye on with Kling, and the reason why actually Kling for me eventually won out. So all right, I added a little more of a prompt here on this one to where I said show the figure walking towards the sunrise while it continues to disintegrate. Again, it did that same thing, but I think it sped up the disintegration. So you can see it goes to nothing, and it's right into the sunrise. And actually, it's almost like harkens kind of like a vampire kind of feel where, the sunrise hits a vampire and it kind of, blows up into pieces. And this is actually going to be what the album cover is. I'll be able to show you in Kling here shortly, but I'll be able to use little clips like this to help promote the album and, kind of give some life to the album cover that we're using. So this is really fun, and I thought both of these examples that I got for free from SkyReels were great. However, there's a reason why they say Kling is the king. It's super good, and I was very impressed with it, and it's the one that actually got my new subscription. It was cheaper than Runway. I'm only at, I think, $10 a month here, which is great. It gives me enough credits. I did, some playing around this morning. I think I went from like 700 credits down to 576. So, I could do a few of these, probably 3 or 4 sessions of these a month and still be within budget. So that's great. All right, so to start here, this one, even though it was one of the images I used in a previous video, even though the character itself's kind of walking backwards and the head is facing me, there's some other things that happened here that I really, really liked that I was impressed with. So look at how good this generation is by the feet of the character and the shadows right down here, where the light reflecting off and the shadow and the way that this character walked, I thought was so good. And then also just the way that the scene on the sides of it moved while the character was walking, I thought was nearly perfect. And it generated it at a super high quality. I think we were full 1080 here. And this was a free version. So I was very happy with that, even though the head was not shaped the right way. All right, now moving on down, I actually uploaded the full album cover. So I'm actually not going to use the AI produced image for the final album cover. I'm going to attempt to paint it myself, or I will hire an artist if that doesn't go well enough. But I wanted it to bring this character again to life, and it did that same disintegration walking towards the sunlight. I really liked that, but the way that it was actually able to keep the band name and the album title there while everything else was happening, I was really happy with. And then actually I liked how it's moving as with the character as you're going down the street, and I didn't see that in SkyReels. So I thought while one of them, SkyReels, I give an A, Kling I give an A+. So there's a reason why Kling is so good. And actually I learned, with the free version here, this was only 1.5. So Kling is the one that won me over. I went and created some iterations here with the full 1.6. So this is one actually where I did a few different scenes together to where I started with this character walking, and then I added this Grim Reaper type character. He's an imagery that comes up in our music a good amount, and I wanted to see how it would transition this scene, and I gave it a little more than it could chew. I also added this message in a bottle kind of theme. So I said add the Grim Reaper and the message in the bottle to the scene of the man dissolving, walking towards the sun, and I wanted to see what Kling's engine would do with this. And honestly, I'm pretty happy with it. It decided to kind of just throw away the messaging in the bottle, but it did add the Grim Reaper, I thought, in a really cool way, because this guy's walking towards the sunrise, but the Grim Reaper is there behind him, and then the scene kind of comes around, and then the face is a little bit, not quite, so I could stop it like here, and just have that sharp nose and be good, and not use the final second of it. But that's definitely a clip that I could use. I was like, all right, that's a cool way to incorporate two completely different scenes, but to tell a story. And I thought it told it pretty well there. So again, very happy. All right, I want to go back to my classic warrior going through the field. I gave it my bring to life prompt. And honestly, there's so much about this I love. I love the way the sparks and the imagery is moving. I love the fire behind it. I even like the little spark when the foot lands, but then it kind of hops up in a funny, weird way. But you can almost imagine, a samurai warrior hopping off that jump foot and hopping again. You get a little bit of deflection and weirdness in the sword, but again, even in movies and stuff, we see that with the swords sometimes being a little thin. They can bend a little bit. So altogether, I love this scene. I thought it was good. Kling is off to an amazing start for me. But all right, let's keep on moving down. This is one where I gave it some more prompting, and it kind of failed a little bit. I said, complete the warrior's motion across the screen, moving, and then add in an adversary from off-screen left. So it kind of moved, and an adversary looked like maybe he was fighting somebody at the end, but I thought this way that he walked across was kind of unnatural. So that was one of those instances where the easier, simpler prompt hack that I talked about in a previous video actually worked better than the full-on prompt. So, all right, I want to go back to that Grim Reaper image. I had a little bit of fun with this with some of the details in Kling. So here's my, I said, slowly zoom in on the Reaper, show him starting to attack, and add lightning, even if I didn't spell it right. Add lightning and a storm behind him. And that, it nailed it. Is it a little bit animated? Yeah, of course. But the initial image that I gave it was animated. So what I love is when it went into motion, it didn't really distort that initial image very much. It all looks natural. Even the hands and the bones on that, they all look natural. So it started with 3 fingers right on the top here. I kept it the whole time, so that was good. Added really natural looking lightning in the back. Let's see if the clouds are moving. Little bit of motion in the clouds, not too much, but altogether I'd say that was like a 95% really good. All right, then I wanted to have a little bit of fun with it. So there's some cool features that are built into Kling now when you're creating, where you can actually go in and add these special effects. This is very much like Pika, where you could turn things into something. So this is like something fuzzy. This is the one that I chose where it's like you're able to kind of squeeze that character. And actually I've seen this used in some advertisements now. There's this fun little toilet bowl cleaner thing that's a plastic little pod that goes in the toilet paper, and I saw an ad once where the first 2 seconds with them using this effect to squish this. So this is something creatives can use to get a pop effect in the beginning of your video. So I was like, all right, I wonder what this would do with a full-on Grim Reaper and how, if that would look silly. And really, I thought it looked pretty cool. I thought it did a good job. It lightened the background a little bit to show, the fingers coming in, but everything looks pretty natural. The finger down here in the bottom left looks a little weird. Watch this. It's like a little double knuckle at the end there. But if you're not looking really close, you're not really going to see that stuff. So pretty good. All right, so the last one here, I wanted to do a little storyboard where I started with one image and then I went into that message in a bottle. So I wanted to kind of blend together this Grim Reaper in a storm and this message in a bottle of hopelessness. Now, did it add some paper inside the bottle? Yeah, and the bottle looks a little funny floating in the water. It's not really matching the waves so much. But it did a lot of things here that I really liked. First of all, assume that this Grim Reaper was, floating up above. And, look at this message in the bottle, how green and blue this water is. And it matched the darkness that I was looking for with some really natural looking water, a really natural looking storm around the Grim Reaper. So there's a lot of parts to this that I really like. That out of this 5-second clip, I think I'd be able to use 80% of it. It's pretty darn good. So it's given me a lot of motivation, a lot of things to be able to do going forward with this program. I honestly, after using Kling here just today, there were a couple drawbacks. It took a while to generate some of these images, and the amount of credits that it takes are a little bit high. With Pika, you get like 1,800 credits, where this only gives you like 700. So you could tell that you're working with a little bit of higher end software here, because it costs a little bit more, takes a lot longer to generate, but at the end of the day, the results are great. So I'm ready to declare Kling the king of image to video AI. We are two creative guys talking AI. Rosh and I, every Monday, we talk on our podcast about all the latest news, updates, and the different things we've been doing in the world of AI. So please check us out on Mondays, any of your favorite podcast platforms, or right here on YouTube. And if you haven't already, please like and subscribe for more content like this in the future. Again, two creative guys talking AI.